Welcome to The Explainer. If you're trying to navigate public court records in Lackawanna County, Pennsylvania, you're literally in the exact right place. Today, we're totally demystifying the system so you can search the official databases completely for free.
Like the quote says, imagine finding crucial pieces of your family history or confirming important legal details in just a few clicks, all without spending a dime. If you're curious about diving into public records from Lackawanna County like a seasoned pro, you've come to the right place. Seriously, whether you're deep into genealogy, tracking local legal news, or just plain curious, we're going to show you exactly how to become a top-notch digital detective.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Here's our roadmap for today. First up, court records and privacy rules. Second, the two portals system. Third, a step-by-step search guide. Fourth, interpreting results. And finally, troubleshooting and ethics. So, starting with Section 1, court records and privacy rules. Basically, what you can find and what you can't. Before we even hit a search bar, it's absolutely crucial to know what we're looking at. These public dockets, they matter so much for transparency in the judicial process, but they definitely have specific boundaries.
When you search online, you're usually hunting for a docket sheet. Like it says here, these organize every single procedural step of a case. They're what journalists and attorneys use to track a legal matter. But keep in mind, a docket isn't the whole entire evidentiary file. You aren't going to find crime scene photos or the full text of a sensitive motion. It's more like a highly detailed timeline, a timeline of all the significant actions, filings, and decisions in that specific case.
Now, transparency is a real game changer for a fair justice system, but the system also has to protect vulnerable data under the right-to-know law. Because of that, some stuff is literally off-limits. For instance, you will not find juvenile cases. No way. You also won't see records that have been expunged or hidden under Pennsylvania's clean slate laws. Sealed dockets? Completely restricted. And you're definitely not going to see unredacted social security numbers or sensitive financial data. Oh, and confidential family matters, especially with minors involved, are super heavily protected.
All right, moving right along to Section 2, the two-portal system, navigating Lackawanna's bifurcated records. To really master this, you've got to understand that the county has a deeply bifurcated or split record-keeping infrastructure. There isn't just one magic search bar that finds everything, unfortunately. And this brilliantly illustrates the two main levels of local courts. First up is the Magisterial District Court. This is for the initial stages of criminal cases, like preliminary hearings, plus traffic violations and minor civil claims under $12,000. On the flip side, we have the Court of Common Pleas. This is the higher court handling serious felonies, major civil litigation, family court disputes, and appeals from those lower courts. Knowing exactly where a case belongs is basically half the battle.
Because of this split, you've got to use the right portal for the right job. This table right here, it's your ultimate map as a digital detective. If you're hunting for criminal cases, traffic tickets, or lower-level civil claims, you're going to use the statewide Pennsylvania UGS portal. Free, highly searchable, super easy. But if you're looking for common pleas, civil lawsuits, family disputes, or historical genealogy stuff, you have to use the local Lackawanna Public Access Portal, or the LPA. The LPA gives you free index searches, but, just a heads up, getting the full digitized files might actually require a paid service like Infocon, or just a free in-person visit to the courthouse down in Scranton.
Let's move right into Section 3, our step-by-step search guide, your digital detective toolkit. This is where the rubber meets the road, and we put all this into practice on the state's centralized database.
Okay, so if you're tracking a criminal or traffic matter, here are your exact 4 steps. Step 1, navigate to ujsportal.pacords.us/case search. Step 2, grab that drop-down menu and select Participant Name. That's the one you'll use most often. Step 3, punch in the first and last name. Quick pro tip here, definitely add a date of birth if you have it. It is a lifesaver for narrowing down common names. Oh, and make sure you set that county filter to Lackawanna so you don't get buried in results from all over PA. And finally, Step 4, filter those results, find your match, and click to view or download the PDF docket sheet.
But what if you're chasing a genealogy brick wall? Let me give you a really cool real-world example. There was a Reddit user trying to track down an 1891 birth record for their great-grandmother to get dual citizenship. Well, Pennsylvania didn't actually centralize birth certificates until 1906. Before that, the counties handled it all. So for an 1890s birth record, that UJS portal we just talked about, totally useless. You'd have to pivot over to the local LPA portal at lpa.homes.org to search their index of old court records. It just goes to show exactly why knowing which portal to use is an absolute must.
All right. Once you find the right portal and click on a docket, you're going to hit a wall of acronyms.
So let's get into Section 4, interpreting your search results and decoding that legal jargon.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how the justice system actually tracks people. You'll constantly see an OTN, which stands for Offense Tracking Number. Basically, it's a super reliable, unique identifier that links all the records for a single criminal offense across the different courts. It's honestly foolproof. Even if a clerk totally misspells someone's name when a case moves up from the lower court to common pleas, that OTN stays exactly the same, letting you track the whole shebang.
You might also spot an SID, or State Identification Number. Right alongside the OTN, the SID is pretty much your best friend as a digital detective. While names can change or get mangled in the system, this unique number stays glued to a defendant for the entire life of a case. Seriously, if you have one of these numbers, skip the name search and use the number every single time.
When you finally open that PDF docket sheet, do not let the length intimidate you. Just zero in on these key sections. First, check the case status. Is it active, closed, inactive? Simple enough. Next, look at the charges. This lists the exact statutes and the offense grade, like a first-degree felony or a third-degree misdemeanor. After that, jump straight to the disposition. This is the big one. It tells you the actual outcome of the case, like a guilty plea, a dismissal, or a trial verdict. If there is a conviction, the sentencing section right below it will outline the probation or jail time. And lastly, the financial information section breaks down exactly what is owed in fines or restitution.
Of course, you're going to see some abbreviations too. A really common one in Pennsylvania is ARD, which stands for Accelerated Rehabilitative Disposition. If you spot ARD in the disposition section, it just means the person was put into a diversionary program, usually for first-time nonviolent offenses. Having a few of these definitions in your back pocket acts like a visual translator, so you don't get completely overwhelmed by all the legal shorthand.
Let's move to Section 5 and see how this builds into troubleshooting and ethics, overcoming brick walls safely. Look, sometimes searches just don't go as planned, right? So we need to know how to fix those glitches while staying completely ethical.
If you're hitting a wall, here are a few rapid-fire pro tips for you. Number 1, start with broad name spellings. Data entry typos happen literally all the time at the clerk's office. 2, if you're searching a common name like John Smith and you get a million results, use that date of birth to filter the pool down. 3, like we just talked about, search by the docket number or OTN if the name search is just failing you. And finally, always remember there's an administrative delay. If something happened at the courthouse yesterday, it's probably going to take a few days for the digital system to catch up.
So what does this all mean? With all this investigative power at your fingertips, a really critical question pops up. How do we ensure we're accessing and using this public info responsibly?
Look, doing your own research is incredibly empowering, but we absolutely have to respect the system's privacy rules. Those right-to-know boundaries are there for a very good reason. Trying to bypass court seals or misusing these public dockets for unauthorized employment or credit decisions, that's not just a bad look, it's strictly prohibited. The system is set up this way so that people who've completed their obligations or had cases dismissed or expunged can actually move forward with their lives. So always respect the intended purpose of these records.
So, the crucial point is that while you now have the tools to be a fantastic digital detective, you really need to use them wisely. And on that note, we've got to wrap up with this disclaimer. The information provided in this explainer is for educational purposes only and should not be construed as legal advice. Always verify information on official sites and consult with a legal professional if needed. But with these new skills in your back pocket, I have to ask, what forgotten histories or hidden truths are you going to uncover in the archives? Thanks so much for joining us for this explainer, and hey, happy searching!